I promise you that starting a daily habit of journaling can positively improve your life starting the moment that you start the habit and last for the rest of your life as long as you continue this powerful practice. And how can I tell you that I know that this works, that I know that it can change your life? Because I've been journaling consistently since 2014. I've made it a habit on a regular basis to put pen to paper, to put my goals, my dreams, my ideas, my thoughts, my perspectives, reflections, to think through life, to think through challenges. And it's made a massive positive difference in my own life. And today, I still have a box with all of my journals since 2014. And my wife and I moved again recently. And I can tell you it's the heaviest box that we have, maybe besides the kitchen pots and pans, but it's a heavy box because I've got loads of dozens of journals in there. And it's important, I believe, to hang on to those journals, to have the opportunity to look back at what you were thinking, what your goals were, what you were envisioning for your life. And I know for certain that many of the goals, the dreams that I put pen to paper on have come to reality. As a very simple example, for about 8 years, maybe 7 or probably closer to 8 years, I was journaling about becoming a published author. I wasn't taking action on actually writing the book for 7 years, but I kept it front of my mind by journaling about it. And that's one of the powerful things about journaling is it reminds you of what you want to accomplish, what's important to you, even if you're not taking action on it yet. It keeps those dreams in front of you. And I'm proud and excited and grateful today to say that I've got a book called Attract Your Potential. You can find it in the link below in the description. But I'm proud to say that even after 7 or 8 years of thinking about writing a book, for the reason that I just kept putting pen to paper on it and believing that I could do it, that's one of the biggest reasons I believe that this book actually came out into the world as a reality in my life. And I can tell you, I'm getting messages constantly about people who are being inspired and encouraged by the insights and ideas from this book. So it's not just something I published and gosh, it's out there and who cares. It's an important piece of work. And I know you, my friend, if you're watching this video, there's big dreams that you have. You're probably ambitious and driven and you want to figure out how to stay motivated to go after your big dreams, to accomplish your big goals. And I know that journaling can be one of those methods to help you keep your fire lit with passion, enthusiasm, and excitement to keep moving forward on your goals and to hang on to those dreams even through the tough times and the challenges. And so the reason that journaling is so powerful is for 3 main reasons. Number 1, it'll just get your thoughts out of your head onto the paper of your journal so that you can see what you're thinking. How often do you just have thoughts and they go in your head and you think about them for a few minutes and then they're gone and you never revisit them? One of the powerful things I found with journaling is I get the thoughts from my head, I put them into the journal, and I can see them. I can read them. It's a different modality. There are people who are visual, you just have to see something. Some people are kinesthetic, you have to do something. Some people are auditory, you have to hear things. And just like there are 3 main ways that people learn, there are also different kinds of ways that we can consume the information. And if you're keeping all of your thoughts in your head, then you're only using one modality of thinking. Another way to think is to put pen to paper. So I know it's going to be a powerful thing for you. How many times do you find yourself just overwhelmed with thoughts on ideas or the challenges that you're facing or ideas for your dreams and your goals? Well, what I can promise you is that as soon as you dump those thoughts onto paper, it's going to feel like such a relief. You're going to feel like, oh my gosh, there's this huge weight off my shoulders and a ton of space opened up in my head because you're going to put pen to paper and you're going to be able to see your ideas and your insights. The second reason that it's really vital and why journaling is so important is it'll remind you of those dreams. Just like I talked about with my book, you've got dreams that you just need to be reminded of. You've got goals that you've got to ingrain into your mind, into your being, into who you are so that you can achieve those dreams and those goals faster. My wife was just telling me the other day that she was listening to a podcast that was talking about the science behind journaling. I have yet to listen to the podcast and I'm excited to, but here's the message she shared with me directly from the podcast. Journaling puts you in a very meditative state. And because I journal all the time, my wife asked me Do you feel like you go into a meditative state when you journal? And my answer was yes, absolutely. That's the perfect way to describe it. Some people meditate by just sitting there in silence or listening to music or going on a run or being in nature. One great way to meditate, if you don't have the practice, or even if you do have a meditative practice, you can start to journal to get yourself into that flow of that meditative state. The other cool thing that she shared with me from the podcast about the science of journaling is it actually really starts to limit your left brain activity so that your right brain activity increases. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the left brain and right brain concept, but typically neuroscience will say that left brain is more associated with linear logical thinking, so very straightforward, not very creative. Your right side of your brain is more creative and abstract, and that's when you can tap into your most creative powers. So by journaling, you're actually engaging the creative part of your brain. And whether you're trying to improve your marriage or just become a better person or a better communicator, a better listener, a better friend, a better community member, a better worker, a better sales professional, a better leader, a better executive, whatever you're trying to do requires creativity. Listen, we live in a world where if you're not willing to be innovative, to find the next best way to do what you're already doing, you're going to fall behind. And the best way to be innovative is to be creative. And you can increase your ability to be creative, even if you're a person that says, I'm not creative, I'm very logical and linear, and I use the left side of my brain. Well, my friend, you can start to engage and leverage the power of the creativity of the right side of your brain by putting pen to paper and journaling. Before I move into the how steps of like how can you actually start to do this if you're not doing it yet or you're not doing it consistently yet, let me tell you the third powerful reason for why journaling can change your life forever. Listen to this one. Something special happens. There's no way to explain it other than something special happens. I truly believe that you'll look at the biggest names in entrepreneurship, in athletics, in any celebrity, or just high achiever in any area of life. I can virtually guarantee you that they've spent time thinking about their biggest dreams and goals. And the people who have turned those dreams and goals into reality faster and at bigger levels, very often you hear about how they had a journaling practice. One in particular individual that comes to my mind is Grant Cardone. Love him or hate him, he's been massively successful in business. And he talks about how from the age of 25, after coming out of a drug rehabilitation facility, when he was told that he wouldn't do anything with his life, he decided, I'm going to do massive things. I'm going to think big, and I'm going to do amazing work in this world, and I'm going to achieve massive things, and I'm going to contribute great value in the world. He was journaling about the amazing things that he's accomplishing today, 35 plus years later. He was journaling about them, and he talks about it in his YouTube videos. He'll talk about how he put pen to paper on things that when he was 25, he was like, there's no sane person could ever imagine me, Grant Cardone, accomplishing these things. And he's like, man, I sit here and I reflect, and I'm accomplishing the things that I was journaling about. So my friend, it's not just me saying it. Some of the biggest, highest achieving people in the world talk about this concept, that when you just put pen to paper on your goals and your dreams and your aspirations, something special happens. And repetition is power. Repetition is the thing that will help you to get there faster. To increase your frequency of journaling will increase your ability to ingrain these ideas and these concepts into you so that you can become that future self, your ideal future self that you want to turn yourself into. And so what I suggest with that is it's not about journaling. It's not about the power of journaling like once a year or a couple times a year or quarterly. It's about journaling every single day. And I'm journaling in the morning when I wake up and at nighttime before I go to bed. At least once per day, but usually it's those 2 times of the day. And sometimes if I'm inspired at lunchtime, I'll put pen to paper and I'll just start writing out ideas or remind myself of my goals. Or on the weekends, I'll spend even more time in my journal. Of course, it has to happen during my children's nap time. Otherwise, I'm probably playing with them on the weekend. But I truly believe that if you start to take this on for yourself, this journaling exercise, you will transform your life. Now your question might be, okay, JJ, this sounds great. This sounds wonderful. I'm inspired. Let's go start this journaling practice. Now, how the heck do I do it? Well, the first thing I'd suggest to you that really was a game changer for me is to get a high quality journal. This is a Moleskine hardcover, classic hardcover. It's, I think, the largest one that they have. And the reason I did that is because I believe that when you pay attention. And likewise, when you have a high quality piece of equipment, in this case the journal, you're going to give it more of your attention. You're going to put more weight and importance on it. And so you can use whatever journal you think is high quality for you. There are all kinds of journals out there. This is the one. I've gone through dozens of different journals. I should probably do a review of different kinds of journals that I've used and why I've ended up with this one for the last probably dozen that I've had. And I'm typically going through, by the way, about 4 journals per year. I've been on pace in the last year and a half to go through about one of these every 3 months, give or take a week or two. But so it's about 4 per year that I'm using this journal. So it's not a huge investment. I think these are like 20-ish bucks. I'll put a link below in the description if you'd like to check out the Moleskine journals for yourself to see if they make sense for you. But my point is this. When you've got something of high quality like this Moleskine journal is, or another high quality journal, you're going to feel better about the journaling exercise as opposed to, I've got, for notes for work, I've got sometimes if I'm just jotting something down or I need to think of something or quickly put pen to paper, but I'm going to move it to something else later, and I just need to jot something down, and it's not super important to maintain for a long period of time, I got a yellow pad. So I'll put notes on a yellow pad if it's something I just need a scratch pad for, and that's fine, but I wouldn't journal in a yellow pad. I wouldn't journal in something that you can just scrunch up and throw away, and it's just something you're not going to pay attention to. Remember what I said earlier in this video? I've got a bin full of dozens of journals from the past several years, since 2014. Now, some of them are smaller journals. Like I said, I've been through different kinds. Some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger, thicker, whatever. But this is the one I've landed on, is the Moleskine, and I believe that if you have a high-quality journal, you're going to give it more priority in your life because you're going to say, I've committed to this. I've bought a journal for the sole purpose of journaling, and that, my friend, will be the first step to getting you to actually take the action, is to commit by putting your money into something like that. The second thing you really have to do is to decide when you're actually going to journal. I told you already that I journal typically first thing in the morning before the kids are up, and in the evening after the kids are in bed. And those are great times for me to just have even 5 minutes, just a few minutes to put pen to paper, to think about my dreams, to think about my goals, think about my ambitions, to reflect on things, to come up with new ideas, or to put ideas that I have in my head about maybe YouTube content or branding stuff or what I want to be doing. I just got to dump it onto the paper like I talked about before. One of the most important things that you get from journaling is just a mind dump, to get the thoughts from your head onto paper. And then the third thing you got to do to really take action on this is to actually have a strategy. I mean, if you've never journaled before, or you've never journaled with any kind of consistency, then you might stumble into it. You might open up a page and then you just sit on that page and the page stays blank and you're like, what am I going to write? I have no idea what to write. Well, in my book, Attract Your Potential, I talk about one strategy that I use if I just have a couple of minutes, but it's really an important strategy for elevating your energy so that you can be the best version of yourself that given day when you do the journaling exercise. And I call it the 3x3. The 3x3 exercise is very simple. Write this down if you can in your journal. The 3x3 is write down 3 things that you're grateful for that day. Write down 3 things that you're excited about for the day or for the week, or something upcoming in the near future that you can really feel. It's palpable, like you're excited for this thing to come up or for this thing to happen. And the third thing you write down are 3 goals that you're really excited to achieve. Sometimes I say within the next 6 to 12 months, so that it's more imminent than like a 15 or 20 year goal. But I also am a big believer in just writing out your 20 plus year dreams and massive goals that you're like, I have no idea how I'm going to accomplish these things, but I want them to come to fruition. Back to the point that I said of something special happens when you write things down. That's why you want to spend some of your journaling time just writing out your big dreams, your big goals. Another thing you can do for a strategy is reflection. I say it all the time as a professional coach that the more you reflect, the more you learn, the faster you make progress forward. If you don't take time to really reflect on what you've done, the obstacles you've come through, the challenges you've overcome, the problems you've solved, the difficulties you've faced, the successes you've had. If you don't reflect on these things in your life, you're not going to be in a position to move forward as fast as you possibly could if you would actually take the time to reflect. Yes, it can feel like a load of work because you're like, oh, I already went through the situation, now I have to reflect on it. Yeah, and if I can give you any advice today, it's spend time reflecting on your life, on the things that have happened in the past day or weeks or months, the obstacles you've overcome, the successes you've had, the insights you've gained, the wisdom you've found from other people that you've listened to, because it's in that reflection time that you anchor the learnings and the insights into your brain so you can take them on. If you just go through life without reflecting and without noticing what's been going on, then you don't gain the lesson. You only gain the lessons of life by taking the intentional time to reflect on what's happening. And lastly, I'll share with you that you can use all of these strategies that I've just laid out for you. But if you're just still like, I like those, I want to try them, but I want more. Or maybe you've been journaling a little bit and you've been doing some of these strategies, but you just don't know what the next level is. Outside of me just having a sit-down conversation with you, I'd really encourage you to grab Brendon Burchard. He's a high-performance coach. He's got this high-performance journal that has some great prompts in it. Daily prompts for you to journal about directly in here. So the prompts are in here, and you can write them out. I think this is a great little handy journal. Again, it's high quality, just like the Moleskine is, and so it will be a great place for you to put your thoughts. So he gives you space to dump your own thoughts in, but he'll also give you specific prompts to think about how can you become the next best version of yourself. So I'm a huge fan of this journal as well as a starting place or a place to keep the momentum going in your journaling practice. And my friend, I'm telling you, this is not an hour-long thing. Give it 5 minutes once a day. Just start there. Start simple. Start with the 3x3. Start with the reflection. Start with writing down your biggest dreams and goals for just 5 minutes. Maybe even 3.5 minutes. I don't know. Keep it short so that you do it, because it's not about the amount of time you put in once a year. It's about the repetition of the powerful things that you do every single day. Our daily rituals build us into the people that we eventually become. If you do something great one day, once a year, that's fine, but that's not going to strengthen your muscles as much as doing something simple but profound and powerful for a smaller amount of time with greater frequency and repetition over a longer period of days and months and years. And that, my friend, is how you can master journaling. I hope you found this to be a great journaling exercise, and to continue to stay encouraged and inspired, go and watch this video right now, because if you're excited about journaling, I know you're someone that wants to take your life to the next level. Wherever you are right now, you want to go to your next level. And all of us face challenges and obstacles along the way, some of us more than others, but wherever you are today, my friend, just keep going.